She's only 22 years old. Let that sink in for a moment. 22. At an age when most players are still trying to figure out how to survive their rookie seasons. She's out here winning more tournaments than women twice her age, rewriting expectations, and shaking the entire LPGA Tour down to its core. Fans adore her. Media outlets chase her every appearance. Brands can't wait to attach their name to hers. But behind the bright lights, behind the polished interviews, behind the clean smiles you see on TV, there's a different atmosphere brewing. Inside locker rooms, on practice greens, in quiet little clusters of players, sharing glances they hope cameras don't catch. The truth is simple and uncomfortable. Some players on the LPGA Tour can't stand watching her succeed. Not because she's rude, not because she's arrogant, not because she's done anything wrong, but because Jeeno's rise is forcing them to confront something they never expected a young player, who is making them question their own careers, their own pace, their own mental strength, and even their own limits. Today, we're pulling back the curtain. We're exposing the real reason some LPGA players can't handle her success. The jealousy, the fear, and the quiet frustration spreading across the tour. And trust me, it goes much deeper than you think. Let's be very clear about one thing. Jeeno didn't take the traditional path. She didn't spend 5 to 10 years grinding on developmental tours. She didn't travel the world scraping top 30 finishes just to keep her card. She didn't deal with season after season of disappointment before finally finding her confidence. No, Jeeno showed up, stepped into the LPGA like she belonged there from childhood, and immediately began outplaying the entire field. Most players spend their first few years simply trying not to drown. They're adjusting to constant travel, learning new courses every week, battling nerves that make their hands shake on the first tee, figuring out how to handle media pressure, trying to make enough cuts to pay their bills. But Jeeno, she bypassed all of that like it was optional. From day one, she competed with the calmness of a 15-year veteran. Her wins started stacking up. 10 finishes became normal. Prize money flowed in like she'd been cashing checks since childhood. She swings like she's floating. She handles pressure like it doesn't exist. She walks onto the course with a presence that makes even seasoned players feel uneasy. And that is where the tension begins. Because every win she gets is a win someone else doesn't. Every leaderboard she climbs pushes someone else down. Every sponsorship deal that lands in her hands is a missed opportunity for a veteran who thought this year might finally be their breakout moment. Players notice that. They feel that. They see her name hovering at the top of the leaderboard again and again. And even if they never say a word out loud, the jealousy builds quietly. No professional athlete wants to admit publicly that they're threatened by someone half their age. So the frustration stays silent, hidden behind polite interviews, tight smiles, and carefully chosen words. But the arrival of Jeeno didn't just shake things up. It reset the entire standard. And not everyone is thrilled about it. Now, here's where things get even more uncomfortable. It's not just that Jeeno wins, it's how she wins. Watch her closely. Study her body language. Look at how she reacts in moments that would break most players. A bad shot, gone from her mind in seconds. A missed putt, already thinking about the next hole. Pressure moment with thousands watching. She looks like she's playing a slow Sunday round with friends. And that calmness, that unnerving, almost supernatural composure is what gets under people's skin more than anything else. Because here's a secret that most fans never see. Professional golf is a ruthless mental war. Players aren't just fighting the course, they're fighting themselves. They're wrestling with nerves, self-doubt, fear of failure, anxiety, the pressure of expectations. And they've spent years and years trying to build the kind of mental strength that keeps them from falling apart. Yet here comes Jeeno at 22, possessing the very thing they've worked their entire career to obtain naturally. She has the mental game they've been chasing. She has the focus they've been paying sports psychologists to build. She has the emotional control they cry over when they can't find it during big moments. She has it, and they know they might never get it, not even with a lifetime of effort. How do you stand next to someone like that and not feel insecure? How do you watch someone younger perform with composure you've never mastered and not feel a sting of jealousy? You can't. No one can. So the jealousy doesn't come from hate. It comes from comparison. Painful, uncomfortable comparison. When a young player rises fast, the whole tour watches. But when someone rises as fast, dominating leaderboards, hijacking headlines, winning consistently while barely old enough to rent a car, something deeper happens. Everyone starts comparing themselves to her, even if they never admit it. Coaches use her swing as an example. Commentators brand her the future. Sponsors shift attention toward her. Fans hype her as the next generational icon. And every comparison becomes pressure on someone else. Pressure to keep up. Pressure to improve. Pressure not to get replaced by the new star. Jealousy doesn't erupt like a movie drama. It creeps in quietly. A look, a reaction, a stiff smile, a clipped tone when asked about her in an interview. Those tiny moments add up. Fans see it. Comment sections catch it. Clips circulate online breaking down awkward interactions or strange reactions whenever Jeeno appears near another player. No one says it openly, but you can feel it. Her presence changes everything. But the most fascinating part? Everything that's happening around her, she didn't choose it. She didn't ask to become the measuring stick of the tour. She didn't ask to be the one players are compared to. She didn't ask for people twice her age to feel threatened. She came to play golf, to compete, to chase her dreams. But her success created a storyline she never wrote, and suddenly she became the center of a quiet, psychological storm. Most 22-year-olds on tour are still trying to get comfortable, trying to learn, trying to fit in, trying to understand the insane pressure of professional golf. Jeeno didn't get that learning phase. The moment she proved she belonged, the spotlight snapped onto her and never left. The craziest thing? She handles it better than players with more than a decade of experience. But that level of composure doesn't calm the room, it increases the tension. Because every time she keeps her cool, another player is losing theirs. Every time she recovers from a mistake instantly, another player spirals into frustration. Every time she performs like greatness is her baseline, it reminds someone else how fragile their game feels under pressure. Here's what most fans forget. Being the rising star is not glamorous. It's suffocating. Every week, Jeeno steps onto a course carrying expectations that would crush most players. Fans expect her to be great. Commentators expect her to contend. Sponsors expect results. Competitors expect her to threaten their rankings. When another player has an off week, nobody cares. When Jeeno has an off week, people start asking, is she slipping? Is she losing her edge? Is someone finally catching up? She doesn't get the luxury of a bad day. She doesn't get to disappear from the spotlight for a while. She's expected to be perfect every time she tees up. That pressure follows her everywhere into hotels, flights, practice sessions, interviews. And even though she handles it with unbelievable grace, she's still human. She feels everything, she just hides it better than anyone else. Her competitors feel the pressure too, maybe even more intensely. Because when Jeeno plays great, it makes their good look average. When she shows composure, it highlights their frustration. When she elevates her game, it exposes every weakness in theirs. Even if she never says a word to them, she applies pressure simply by existing. She forces everyone else to evolve or get left behind. That's not arrogance. That's not intentional. That's simply what happens when greatness enters the room. At the end of the day, jealousy isn't the real enemy here. Fear is. Fear of slipping. Fear of losing relevance. Fear of being overshadowed by the new kid. Fear of waking up one day and realizing the game is passing you by. Jeeno represents change. She represents the future of the LPGA. She represents the new standard every player has to rise to. And change, whether people admit it or not, always creates tension. Some players will rise to the challenge. Some will quietly resent it. Some will keep their feelings hidden behind PR-approved smiles. But every player knows one thing. Jeeno isn't just another young golfer. She's a generational shift. The era of Jeeno didn't begin last month. It didn't begin this season. It's already here. And everyone on tour knows it, even if they don't want to say it out loud.